Well, Mother Nature's back at it again. Lovely Nebraska weather. We're cold. Have to put the coat and the gloves back on. Fortunately, I didn't take everything out of my pickup. But cold weather, that's our first topic of the day. A couple nights ago, we got pretty cold through a lot of Nebraska, even northern Kansas into South Dakota. That's led to some frost and freeze damage, and that's kind of first and foremost topic this week. Evaluating those fields. Please make sure you're not driving by just because you see green and think you're okay. Where we're seeing the biggest damage is on no-till, heavy residue fields. That residue actually insulated the ground. In this case, we want that solar radiation or that heat radiation coming up from the ground. Actually creates a buffer zone. Where there's heavy residue, we didn't have that, and the cold temperatures were able to freeze and affect both corn and soybeans. And then as you get out in the panhandle, western Nebraska, some of the wheat took some damage too. So evaluate those fields, see where we're at. Soybeans, they get that growing point out of the ground. So if you had, that second, third leaf coming out, we've seen some pretty heavy damage, even some cotyledons damaged. Corn, fortunately, the growing point's still in the ground, so it may look a little rough. Give it a couple days, and hopefully we see some new green growth. Want to talk a little bit about GDUs and where we're at in the growing season. If you planted that April 15th, we're pushing that 450 GDU mark, which means it's time to look at a couple things. First off, herbicides. Now, I know a lot of herbicide applications were delayed, so we may think we get by with just that one shot. The caution is most pre-herbicides are designed to break at 21 to 28 days. They will break before we have canopy. Then we are out there spraying a little bit late. So don't be afraid to turn around, get those post applications, especially those residual products, put on sooner rather than later. That way we avoid injury to the crop. We don't get that break of flush of weeds where we're having to go out there, maybe having to use a dicamba-based product, a status or a Diflex. We like to avoid those if we can. Also, if you're looking to influence the crop right now, we're transitioning from that seed energy to root energy, which means we're pulling nutrients up from the soil. So stimulating that growth of the plant with a PGR, we're going to be applying Realize out here along with a micronutrient accrue on most of our fields starting the end of this week, going into next week, making sure those plants are happy, getting that good growth. Especially where we're a little bit late this year and things are a little behind, we want to try to gain anything we can as far as getting this crop going. Finally, on the insect front, just looking at no major issues that we're seeing outbreak-wise. We're seeing a few cutworm, heavy residue fields, a few bean leaf beetle. Nothing major to worry about, but obviously each field is a case-by-case basis, so we got to look at those. If you have any questions on frost damage, replant, I know those are tough decisions. We're seeing places where maybe one row is affected because it had more residue. The rest of the field's okay. Maybe it strips. We just got to walk those fields. We're happy to do that with you. Please reach out to us. We'll get somebody out to help you. So call your agronomist, your location. We'll help you make those decisions. Hoping for warmer weather, and everybody enjoy your Memorial Day weekend.